So definitely. Okay, we got live streaming. What's that?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I got this working. Oops, I didn't mean
Oh,
to do
you're down there in the bottom
that.
corner, just doing
All right.
something. You don't know what you're doing, but there you go.
I think I'm gonna have to switch this. So I'm gonna have to do this way. I
So this is a dry run, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a dry
Trying
run.
to work out
And
how to get this going for when you get a couple more people that will join in. But I need to get some sleep
let's see. Shit.
because I stayed up too late, and then I I stayed up longer than what I would normally stay up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I became sort of like anxious about whether I would meet this in time because it's sort of like I 4 hours sleep to the time I have to get up to do this. Um, so I'll probably get some sleep. Yesterday was a long day for me. I had a lot to do yesterday, so that's how I ended up so late because I still had some tasks to do
Mm-hmm.
when I got home. Tasks to do on the computer, and basically all of those got pushed forward, and I ended up going to bed around 1 o'clock. Then I had to be up for 5 for this.
Yeah,
So
I'll be around. I mean, it's about 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
okay,
I'm gonna stay streaming. I'm gonna go ahead and share the stream link and the link to the Jitsi again on
okay.
Twitter in a second.
I
Uh,
did. I did put on my kind of background so nobody can see the madness.
yeah.
That might be here, but then it may not be here. Right? It isn't here right now because
Right now, I don't know if you've looked at the YouTube. It's pretty much because I'm sharing the screen. Primarily, what is seen as the screen. I'm trying to get someone to go check
but
YouTube.
you can see my screen, right? That is
I
kind of
can see
like
you.
all the letters are a bit odd.
Yep.
They're
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I don't right now. My screen is shared, so in the YouTube, you're a little small screen.
yeah. I'm fine with that. I
Cool,
mean,
cool, cool.
it's okay. So you have you ported the Jitsi to the YouTube or something?
No, what I did is so in Jitsi, there's a live stream which you can stream through YouTube through this one. I have set up my own Jitsi server, but it looks like the version we have may be an older version, so we don't have that capability.
Right.
So we're right now it's just kind of like um, I'm using Jitsi's public one that they have for free. Um,
But your Jitsi server, is it on Windows or is it on a Linux distro?
it's running on Linux.
Right. Which one?
Uh, Running it on Ubuntu right now.
Okay. All right. And it, does that just install very simply, or do you have to do a bit of work in terminal to get it to run?
There we go. I just checked it. I can hear sound. I can hear you in the YouTube.
Right.
Just checking that. So awesome. Um,
Because
Go
I
ahead.
I've got very poor eyesight. I
Mm,
think I mentioned that.
go
Um,
ahead. Oops. Go ahead.
so I've got a laptop that I upgraded, which I can't use kind of like for ordinary day to day stuff because the screen is too small. It's only like a 8 inch or a 10 inch screen, but um,
Mm-hmm.
I did get yeah. a terabyte solid state hard drive put into it recently, and it has an i7, but it's not one of the newest i7s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got 16 gigs of RAM, so it
How,
should
how is
be.
the
Hmm?
how is the was the image on the, or not the image, the text on the screen? Is it
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it says GitHub
yeah, cool.
soft fork GitHub, blah, blah, blah. There's a URL there, currently planned, blah, blah, blah. Another URL.
Yeah, cool. I just want to make sure. So
Yeah. So,
that's kind of like high level. We're going to talk about kind of what the plans are, and then what they're going to be protecting. Um,
so what are we going to do now? Are we going to put it off for another day since there's
no,
only.
I'm still gonna go ahead and start it start in like 15 minutes. If people show up. If not,
Okay, so
well,
did anybody else actually say they're going to turn up, or
yeah. Other
did it?
people said they would.
Okay, because it's going on for nearly an hour now, almost.
Yeah, but so I think maybe I had the wrong time. I don't know. Anyway, for when I did my time to UTC, and it was like it would have been 5 a.m. So maybe it's, I don't know.
Oh, there.
So
Yeah, because you did say 6 a.m. to me at one stage,
and I thought that's what I
and then
thought
you
it was.
changed it back to 5.
But so I don't know, because I was doing another time. I was talking to someone. And we were talking about UTC, and it was like, oh, it was.
But do you have
5 hours back.
do you have daylight saving time where
Yeah,
you are?
I'm in daylight savings time right now.
Right. So then it doesn't really make a difference because your northern hemisphere, it's still the same thing. So when my daylight stuff comes in, yours does as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I thought.
when you change back, I change back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is going to be the same at any time of the year.
Yeah. And that's what I thought, but I went online and actually looked at current time UTC, and I get this. I get that it's
because I'm quite involved with Nigeria.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things there. So
I mean, this is what I get for when I Google current time UTC. I get this. So I'm like, okay, is that maybe I'm wrong? Maybe that's wrong.
they don't, because they're in the tropics. They don't have daylight saving time because a day ends at roughly the same time every evening. It doesn't get brighter or darker. So,
mm-hmm.
And there's no like longest day of the year or shortest day of the year.
Okay, so I mean UTC. This is time UTC, I guess. I don't know. It's time in London, Paris, currently.
No,
so well, we'll see.
Yeah, Paris isn't. Paris is on a different time to you see the London time there, 5:48. That's UTC 0. That one right there, London, is UTC 0.
That's what I thought. So I don't know what this is. It says
I don't know what that is.
Current time UTC 0 is what it says.
Right. Okay. That's probably because the UTC is the same all the year round.
Okay.
Regardless of whether you've got daylight saving or not.
Okay.
Right?
And so that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you actually live in a UTC 0 zone,
Mm-hmm.
right, you're going to be UTC +1 in summertime
Yeah,
and UTC 0 in the other part of the year.
that's funny. Well,
Yeah, weird. But I think
either
that
A, more people will show up in about 10 minutes.
that's the difference between what they call. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna go and do something now. Make
Okay,
myself
cool. Yeah,
a
I'll
cup of
be here.
coffee and get a couple other things. But I'm gonna leave the line open and
Cool. Yeah,
I'm
I'll be
gonna
here.
check back in about 15, 20 minutes.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dude. What's your name anyway? I can't call you doctor all the time.
Nick. So,
Nick, is it?
yeah,
All
Nick.
right, Nick. I'm John.
John, nice to meet you. Yeah. So, all right.
Cheers.
I'll chat with you in a bit.
All right. Yeah, I'm still in the background here.
Yep. So we'll
I'm just doing other stuff.
no worries. I'm just have the screen share and have my camera going, so maybe people will show up. Might be too late. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, though, sort of like doing other stuff and having your camera on.
Yeah.
You kind of think, are you going to do something weird? Somebody's going to see you doing something weird. Like you said, picking your nose or whatever. Could be some other thing. A strange grimace or facial expression that looks a bit odd.
Yeah.
It's quite cool here now. That's why I've got this funny thing on my head.
Oh, it's very hot here right now. So.
Really? Oh yeah, because it's evening time. It gets warm enough here these last kind of like month. Last month's been pretty warm, but it warms up during the day, right? Like now it's still 6 a.m., so it's quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just why I've got these kind of stuff on.
Trying to get Eskimo to join.
I'll probably be getting more of an education than, making any profound contributions.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, if it really just ends up me kind of, going over this stuff, and you're the only one here, hopefully it'll end up giving someone some help later, because it's gonna be saved on Twitter when you share the screen, share the video.
So, yeah, me and Twitter don't get on though.
Yeah, I think this is me.
I've always had a tough spot for long before Musk. It got nothing to do with Musk.
Yeah,
I just never took to the platform. I think a lot had to do with people just like writing a lot of one-line nonsense. I mean, I realized that the platform has matured a lot over the years, but it's just it didn't grab me when it started out. I committed to a couple other platforms, and you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't be on them all. So I'm very prominent on LinkedIn. Well, reasonably anyway. And then I'm on Discord as well, and a few other things in a small way. And I don't need, I don't need Twitter. And then the fact that at this stage my eyesight isn't great, so I can't maximize the benefits of a mobile phone. That sort of throws the slant direction as well. And I don't like 2FA, right? I mean, in principle, with the ideas around blockchain being about decentralization, 2FA isn't decentralization. People knowing your phone number isn't decentralization. So I just
yeah. I'm gonna turn my camera off for a minute
you can't sign up to Telegram without using a mobile phone. Even you can port it to a laptop or a desktop later, but you have to use a mobile phone to sign up, which is a very centralized thing. I don't like that.
I gotta send this to. Oh my god! There's possibly a spam bot on here. I gotta send this to Eskimo real quick. Hold on.
Spam bot where?
Maybe on HNS chat. I'm saving it. I'm gonna send it to.
Well, at least I turned up because after all of the effort you've gone through to try and move the time around to change it to be, a little better for people that are not in the US. If I then went went and didn't turn up, you'd be cursing me.
Ah man, no worries. Yeah, we'll start here in about 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some other folks. Maybe not.
Yeah. But even when I was a lot younger, I mean, I was never really a night person. Like go out to a club at night and I'll be falling asleep by 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be other people that just be all nighter or something. It'd be break of dawn. They'd still have a load of energy. Me now.
Hmm.
And I was when I was a lot younger, in my 20s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And not morning person, can get up with the larks and the whatever it is, they get up like really early, yeah. But staying up late, no. So when you all have those ones that are like 7, 8 in the evening on your time, then that's just like too late for me. So my eyes are starting to shut and they don't care. My eyes don't care what I try to tell them to do. They
Mm-hmm.
want to shut, they're going to shut. It's just how it is. Nothing going to change that. Yes.
Alrighty, I'm gonna give it about another 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll get started.
Yeah, no worries. I'm here anyway because I'm just doing something in the background, so
Yeah.
I'll be going anywhere.
So I'm back. I'm just going to show this because I thought it was kind of funny.
I'm still here.
Yep. So HNS chat, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with yet, or if you've used it yet.
No.
So HNS chat is it's a chat client that Eskimo.
It's a plugin for it's a plugin for HNS domains, isn't it? When you
well, it's more or less it's an end-to-end encryption chat tool that utilizes,
but
for authentication, I think so. Or
you embed it in your HNS website, right?
No, it's HNS.chat is Eskimos. So
okay.
This is his tool. So what you do is you go to there and then you would
in an ordinary browser.
Yeah, ordinary browser with and then you'd go in and you would add a domain and then start chatting.
Okay.
So then you would add in I think it's text record, and there may be something, I forget what all it is, but there's a couple things you would add in, and the DNS records and on the blockchain, and then you would it would register those, and you'd be registered, and it would show you as a valid domain. So anyway,
so basically you've got to edit the text record in your domain, right? In your
you put a text record, and I think there may be a DS record. I may be wrong on that, but anyway, but then you put that in, and then it validates the domain that you are the TLD owner, and then you can use that name, and then also you can add in, like, for example, the your image, right? Like, so you have a profile image here. You can actually set that in your DNS records on the blockchain, so or on the chain. So anyway, but I find this funny because we have here this. Hello, I'm new here, right? Who's interested in being a loyal friend? Hit me up. Let's chat more intimately. Is that a bot?
Yeah, and that's circumvented that whole process, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I mean, it's a bot. It's kind of funny. So someone is using HNS chat,
but for the bot to work, it has to have registered. I mean, the owner of the bot or whoever's using the bot has to have registered HNS domain in the first place, don't they?
Well, no. So you can get a free. You can get a .HNS chat
domain or ID.
Login. Like, if you see here, that's what this person used. They're using HNS chat, so they're using the free one, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in the bio is just something you can go in and put in yourself. You can, for example, you go here, you can see the bio.
Yeah, so it's a difficult one, really, because it can be.
Really. I mean,
but it can be an avenue though to attract people that don't know about HNS.
Yeah.
If they can use just the HNS chat ID.
Oh, definitely. There's nothing wrong with that. I just thought it was funny that
But the downside is
spam usage.
It's easy to manipulate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess what I'm saying is like it's kind of funny that we're seeing some spam usage, bot usage in HNS chat. It's not been out a whole long time. I mean, it's not surprising that it happens quickly, but
Yeah, it's like, like wow, you know we've made it. We've got spammed. We must be up there with. That's yeah. Okay, it's cool.
that's funny. I'm actually gonna post this. This is I don't know. It just seems like this is like
It's probably the Russians
who
or
knows.
the Chinese. Someone always gets blamed. Some crazy stuff going on with Binance.
Really, are there some new stuff going on, or just
They came out and Zhao came out and said that Binance Nigeria isn't legitimate, and that Binance there's only one like identity for Binance, and that's like for the whole continent, and it's Binance Africa. So if individual countries in Africa start, if a corporate entity shows up trying to say it's Binance and one specific country, then that's illegal, right? But you just don't know with the guy because I mean there's all this stuff with the US when he had his company in China and China closed the crypto stuff. He went, he's got stuff registered here, stuff registered there, kind of weird things that it's hard to kind of engage with the company at certain legal and other levels, right? So you got to wonder, okay, is it was it real for a while or not, or is he just saying that now? You know,
yeah,
because yeah, things have been a bit shifty with Binance, to be honest.
mm-hmm.
You've had it, all of it sudden, he had all that interest in FTX, and then it turns out that he's got things to answer for too. So
Yeah,
he was trying to be the Robin Hood for a while. Yeah, that that didn't work out well. Um, and if Wyatt keeps going the way he's going at the moment, Wyatt from Polygon, he's going to get it. He's going to taste some of that as well if he's not careful. It's all looking a bit funny. What can I say?
hold on.
I wouldn't advise you, dude.
Eskimo just posted
What did he do?
a message. I mean, I'm messaging him.
It's about the bot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, this is great.
Okay, I've got to go and I'll be doing something in the background here. Where is it?
Oh my god, it's so funny. Seems like a rite of passage. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. So what's even funnier is it's like it even streamed on YouTube. Like the first HNS chat spam bot. Oh, that's great. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm guessing that's probably. I think we're not going to get anyone else tonight.
No,
So what I'm going to do is kind of go
this
over.
morning because it's coming up to 6:30 in the morning here now.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is.
Well, it's
As I
all
mentioned,
good.
so there's the soft fork. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Wow.
I'm gonna.
So here we go. So I'm just going to kind of go over the hard or the soft fork that's planned to go in, signaling starting July 1st, 2023, and the signaling end date of December 1st, 2023. Voting window, and this is part of BIP9 where the miners would vote. The threshold would be 95%.
Right.
Miners have upgraded, then we would activate the soft fork. Is my understanding of it.
Okay.
Another
So
thing to point out.
how does it go on? Like one miner gets one vote, or does it go by how much they contribute? Because like
I'm not sure.
you're not sure.
I think it's just straight pure. Miners upgrade to the new soft fork version, and that means that they voted. So that's my understanding. If we go down here, thanks. Trying to see if there's a place where he explains. 9. So Nodec explains that that this is refers to BIP 9. It's a voting mechanism where the vote is by miners based on their update or upgrading to the and supporting the soft fork. If any time within that 2-week period, 95% of the blocks have signed their support for the soft fork will become active or activated. So what that means is starting July.
It's going on mining performance then, not people. Because
Yeah, it's just did they update? Did the miners update to the new soft fork code? Yes or no? If they when one meaning yes, I assume, right? When it does, when 95% of the miners being the only voting threshold there, when they upgrade, when 95% of them have upgraded within a 2-week period, between July 1st and December 1st of this year, then that will activate the new soft fork, and the soft fork will permanently secure the TLDs, so the current ICANN TLDs, top 100, and custom names. Right. So during that time, on or about January 31st, 2024, I think I had the actual block Yeah, it's block 210240. And that's gonna right now, based on everything, it's January 31st through February 2nd of 2024 is sometime is when that'll occur.
That's approximating on the basis of one block taking 10 minutes. Roughly.
Yeah, so at that block, what's supposed to happen is all the ICANN TLDs, top 100 TLDs, custom names, and Alexa top 100,000 names are supposed to be um, released to the wild for to be opened or for auctions to be started on them. Most everyone realizes that that's probably not the right way to do it, or thinks that's not the right way to handle it right now. So the plan is to do the soft fork, which would permanently lock, the ICANN TLD's top 100 and custom names. If we go down here, yeah. So we've got data here on list of the top 100 and custom names. And that data, again, is linked. And I'll share these links in the video here in this pull request. So one of the other things to point out that I've mentioned several times is that this means the Alexa top 100,000, so 101 through 100,000 is my understanding, would be released into the wild or be allowed to be opened and auctioned. And I think there's several people that feel that that's probably not. Again,
A
also
good idea. Well, I mean, it swings and roundabouts. There's a definite argument for it, and there's a definite argument against it as well. On the one hand, the owners of these names have had since like the start of 2020 to be claiming this. Okay, Handshake isn't that well known, but it isn't as invisible to the point that it's obscure, right? So I'm sure pretty much all of these people, or most of these people, know what Handshake is. Maybe some of the names that are completely outside the scope of technical things might not know, but a lot of them will know. And they've chosen not to pick up their own names. That's one argument. The other argument would be that when we have some way to go in terms of exercising a presence as a community, we don't really want to be pissing off people that are a bit more powerful than us. Mm-hmm. That would be the other side of it, and probably may get people's backs up or corporations backs up that we want to try and win over. So it's sort of, there's two sides to it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the other arguments are. I mean, those are two arguments I could see right away.
But yeah, those are some of the arguments. There's also the argument that, so another thing that people have been talking about is that we probably should decouple the name claim rewards from the name claims. So when we do reinstate the name claim, which would require a hard fork,
mm-hmm.
For currently right now, like I mentioned, just the TLD's top 100 and custom names. When we do re-enable it, there is lots of talk of we should decouple the coins. There also is conversation about what to do with the FOSS dev incentive coins. There's been, I think, 6,500 devs that have claimed their or GitHub FOSS devs that have claimed their HNS.
Yeah.
So
As the people that were on GitHub as part of the program before a particular time.
yeah,
Yeah.
so at a
And they're
particular time.
entitled to.
So there are some conversations of, there are people that would love to be able to claim their HNS, but they aren't able to because they don't have their keys anymore.
Yeah.
And there's also conversation of maybe it wasn't the best allocation of those funds, or the best way to allocate those funds. So I mean, there's also some conversations about what to do with those. Again, I keep going back to there's a lot of conversation to be had on that. We can go into that a little bit more after this. But so the big thing to point out that I think we need to talk about before the soft fork goes in is those top 100,000. So what we do have is we have a poll, and I'll share the link in the. I think I've shared the link with you, and with several other people. I'll share the link in.
Yeah, I haven't voted on it yet. It's
Yeah.
just been I haven't got around to it.
Oh, no worries at all. I mean, the voting
Yeah.
goes until June 26, 2023. I think it may be Pacific time or PST. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
Right.
So we've got 2 votes, and I'll kind of go over them. I'm actually creating an image real quick because it's when I open it up, it actually shows my votes. So there's one thing we do have it set to is 1 vote per IP right now. Try to create some form of 1 person, 1 vote. So
Pinhead, he's the impervious guy, right?
yes, Pinhead is he did work at Impervious. He I forget where he's working now, but he was for a long time the core dev for the blockchain and for HSD. He's I'm not sure how much he's doing now, but he does make some comments on this thread. But Nodec, who is an employee of Namebase, is handling the coding of this. Okay. So, all right, let's really quickly. So, based on, like I mentioned, that the Alexa top 100,000 that isn't represented here at all in the soft fork as part of this pull request. So, I have created, and they may not be the best. Can you see this well, or is it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So I created 2 polls. One with it, and here's the link. I'll put that in the notes or whatever for on YouTube. Anyway, this first one is really what should we do with the Alexa 101 through 100,000 as part of the soft fork? So, there's and I apologize to everyone that I missed a comment here, but there's really 3 things that I've kind of like highlighted high level of what it would be, and I'll go ahead and share this right here. Maybe this will make some more sense. But with that, there's really 101 through 1,000, 101 through 10,000, or 101 through 100,000, or none. The planned behavior is for all TLDs, right, to be released into the wild. So, there in this in the poll, I put in, let's do what's planned right now, what's expected, and not make any changes to the Alexa top 100,000. Let them all go into the wild. Then there have been a couple conversations where people have said, maybe the top 1,000 or the top 10,000. And then, we always could do the same thing that we plan to do with TLDs 100, top 100 and custom. And that would be locking them all until we had a hard fork. So, the downside would be during the time until we had the hard fork, any of these names that are locked would an open or a claim would be illegal, so they would be locked from claim even. So the benefit of it is, yes, they could not be opened and auctions couldn't be started on them, but then the other problem is that the claim couldn't occur. So there's a couple people that have the opinion maybe we don't do anything, maybe allow them to go to auction. Like I said, so those are kind of the high level on those. And
So,
then
so what percentage of the Alexa group have actually formally claimed their names? None.
someone had, well, hold on.
I mean, can Google be that stupid?
Well, so they have not claimed theirs, but let's see.
Probably, I don't know. I mean, I think there may be an agenda there, that there's certain parts of the old guard internet architecture, if you want to call it that they don't want to give it credence by claiming it.
Yeah.
Because then they're probably thinking, okay, if we do that, Handshake's going to make a big deal out of the fact that, it was claimed by, so therefore we're interested.
So based on the data from, and I got this spreadsheet from Eskimo. It's based on what I think it's handshake.reserve is his site. Anyway, so for group 0, which would be the Alexa top 100,000, there have been 4,709 names that have been claimed.
Right.
If we look at them, many of them no longer in the, they were in the top, ranking years ago. Many of them are no longer in the top ranking. It looks like from the data I used. I've got that documented somewhere.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a fluid situation, isn't it? So,
So, and that actually kind of leads to, I mean, if we want to look at overall, we can leave that there and then go claimed. There have been a total of overall 4,722 that have claimed.
Out of 100K.
Out of 100K. Well, that's everything. That's including TLDs, which was group, I don't remember. 1. Yeah.
Because I noticed, there's.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So these TLDs, it looks like, maybe I'm wrong. Group 1 was TLDs, maybe. There's only 5. Yeah. And actually, we've got on another thread from No Deck, and I hope I'm saying that right. If we see here, he lists out the ICANN TLDs. There have been 5 that have been claimed, 1 top 100,000, 9 custom, and then 4825. So
ICANN's got 2 ends.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, if you see, there's not a whole lot of claims, and that's kind of where I go back to. I think we should extend it, just for the possibility of backwards compatibility issues and And some people can argue that the Alexa top 100,000, they would have TLDs and would have registered them through ICANN if they wanted them already. I think that's a valid point for some of the Alexa top 100,000, but there are some where that would not occur. I mean, it could be
but I
you know,
mean, an ICANN TLD is far too expensive to go
yeah. I
on.
mean, and Tor, for example, has recently reached out, and there have been conversations as to why they haven't claimed their names is because of the coins associated with it, which kind of goes back to the whole conversation of we probably should burn those coins. But to kind of go on to the next point on this, there was something else that was proposed, at which is now another poll that I put in, which was to really look at, do we change the rank, do we re-rank the TLDs within the top Alexa top 100,000 as re-rank them with the current ranking, we leave it the same, make no changes, or do we do current top websites and page rankings, which I don't think is the solution. But you know with this one, the reason this is a great way to handle this is there's a lot of names that people are going and scooping on Web 2 so that they can claim the HNS. So it could be that they register it for a couple dollars and then go claim because it's the website's no longer valid. It's the DNS or the registration runs out and they don't renew it. So someone goes and scoops it so they could claim the HNS. So there was some discussion of, do we re-rank based on current rankings so that we can weed out some of the sites that are no longer valid.
Nobody's going to be able to scoop those ones because
that way there's that way those go back to the wild. If someone really wants some of these, we're talking like very names like, I don't know. Here, I mean, I'll just hold on. These are claimed. Let's go look at
new.net.
Hold on, I'm just gonna clear this.
New.net was an old alternative domain system. It wasn't on a blockchain.
I'm just looking for something like, in theory, someone could go and I'm not sure how valid this is. This actually could be a valid site still, but based on the data I had for the top 1,000,000 sites, this site was no longer ranked. In theory, that site could be available. Someone could go register, this theory, and then go request this HNS, right? I mean, like I said, they could be valid domains.
What's a 503?
That's the amount of HNS.
Just 503?
503, yeah.
Okay.
But people are still doing that. I mean, there's been, as I said, there's been about 600. No, that was the other. That was the FOSS. Anyway.
Seems a lot of effort to go to get. And,
I mean, people are still doing it. I mean, we've seen that, in the not too far past. So really, those are the two polls that I put in. Right now, I think, I'm not sure if there's been any new votes. There's 42 votes on the top one, and there are 15 votes on the second one, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 15 votes still. So, again, I'll put these in the comments. if anyone has any questions, they can post them after the videos put online. So I guess I'll ask you: do the options make sense? Did you have any questions on any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I could just say that my opinion is that we should update uh, the the top 100K to make the list current. It doesn't really make sense to have a claim possibility around a name that's no longer even ranking in any way. And that seems to make sense to me. But that then some decision needs to be made about what happens to the redundant claim. And I'm not sure that burning is the right solution, because then you've got to get into the impact for the tokenomics and the price and the liquidity and a whole load of practical issues. And I'm not terribly keen on the idea of permanently burning these guys that went and built this blockchain in the first instance, that all had experience in Bitcoin. They put a lot of effort into designing that tokenomics in a particular way to get a particular.
So I guess something important to point out when it comes to the name claim tokens, they were planned to be burnt as part of the name claim going away. So if we look at, hold on just a minute. So and this is where I kind of go back to this. Is this legible?
Sort of. It's a bit small.
Let me zoom in.
Yeah, it's better. Trilemma is triangle, right?
Okay. Okay. We see here, so domain name holders. This is for anyone. This is TLDs, Alexa Top 100, all those, right? We look in here. So the reason that they are put in here that they wanted to burn or remove the name claim was because they felt that security of the DNS, and then they explain it here some may not be claimable until secure DNS records. So they explained in another talk or another call. I'm not sure if it's in here or where it is in here. But they felt that it wasn't as secure as the token or the keys for the FOSS devs. So if you see here, though, they say unclaimed tokens after the claim period, which the claim period is supposed to end with that block 210240. When that occurred, the unclaimed coins were supposed to be burnt. But if we look here, when it comes to the FOSS devs, they say that the FOSS devs are the principal coin owner of the project. upon launch. Their plan was that that would be distributed to them without any expectation of them having to create anything for Handshake.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean
you
that
know,
was the reverse principle of FOSS, isn't it? Sort of.
so so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, I don't want to go too far into the depths when it comes to what the hard
I
fork.
think
We
I,
have to do a hard fork, and I'm hoping that the community can come together and make decisions when it comes to at least what to do with the Alexa Top 100,000. Um,
I think that statement
mhm,
about unclaimed coins after the claim period will be burnt.
mhm.
I think that needs to be qualified because I think when they were writing this, they had some certain expectations.
Yeah. So in a
So
space
a
recently,
question,
Meow and and Andrew Lee were on, and but they kind of talked about this, and they both mentioned that there may be issues with companies being able to claim things because of and I don't know if it was them, but there was someone in that space that was talking about there was issues with some companies being able to claim their names because of the coins associated with it, and the plan was for them to be burnt. I mean, as we see here, right? You know,
I mean,
unclaimed
well,
coins after the
like,
claim period will be burned.
okay,
You know, they
can I make
Yeah,
a point, right?
yeah, go ahead.
My concern is what extent when they were writing all this, they must have had some expectations on the basis they're saying that, but they had expectations of how much would have got claimed because
They
how
had the
much how
expectation of
much
more
can I
being.
finish? Because
Yeah.
how much that would have got claimed, right, has implications for how the tokenomics is going to work moving forward, liquidity and a whole load of things. So the question that I would need to know, right, to have an opinion would be what were their expectations and what actually happened? How did that meet those expectations? Did more coins get claimed than they thought? Did less coins get claimed than they thought? Because that's a major issue.
So they
I mean,
felt
is there any
that.
information about what their expectations were?
So I mean, in that talk, there was conversation on that they expected more claims to have been made. You
Than
know,
actually happened.
yeah, they felt that creating this almost kind of demand created incentive to adopt the name or handshake for the name holders. And I'm reading that based on what I'm reading here,
Right?
right? The coins are provided to incentivize adoption by name holders.
Because
So
what
this creates an incentive for name registrations on Handshake. Unclaimed coins after the claim period will be burned.
I can see what it
So
says, but
what I'm saying is,
as I said, they must have had expectations, and there
yeah,
has
I mean,
been
they
there
mentioned,
is some kind of a gap between the expectations and what actually happened. So
yeah,
what?
and some of the reasons that this occurred is because many people, such as Tor, wanted to claim their names
Okay,
but cannot because there's crypto coins associated with it, and they
okay,
cannot
that
own
that that
hold
that's
crypto
fine, but
coins.
the reasons don't really matter. What matters is what the expectations were, what the gap is, and then how much do you burn?
Mhm.
Do you understand? If you could burn up to the meeting of the expectations, but not burn beyond it,
But then what happens with those other coins? I mean, we're
that that then need a strategy for allowing those coins to enter fluidity in a fair way. What could that be?
yeah. I mean, I think there's several questions on that. I think there's the many people look at it because of the fact that I mean Tor cannot claim their name because there's crypto coins associated with it.
Yeah.
It fits
Okay.
in completely with what they would like to do. They would like to claim it, but they were told they couldn't
Yeah, but
sell all the coins at once, probably, and they were going to
yeah,
have to hold them for a
well,
while.
well,
And so
let's
that
not well, let's not look at anybody's in particular's entitlements.
they're not
All
the
I'm
only one. I mean, there's
all I'm
several.
saying is that is there a way that we can meet the expectations of the designers so
Yeah,
that
their
because
expectation was that these coins from the domain holders would be burnt, most of them, if not all of them, burnt, registering. That's what they were doing, incentivized adoption to create name registrations on Handshake.
yeah,
So,
but it
so to burn, so their whole thought would be, and they talked about this also in the space. Their thought was that most of these coins would be burnt on registering names, putting in updates to the names, registering the names, etc. Same
what
with
I'm what I, what
Fostas.
I'm saying is that after all of this is done, they must have had a specific expectation in terms of the amount of fluidity that would be left. And what we need to aim for is that fluidity that were their expectations.
Mhm.
And that's not, do you get me? Do you
No,
understand
I
what?
understand where you're coming from. I think it's,
And that would then
but also I think
ensure
it's
the
important.
blockchain would
Well,
function the way it was intended to moving forward.
yeah, and I think that there is a lot of talk when it comes to that, and especially when it comes to the FOSDEVs or Definite Incentive Fund, because it was primarily, and we're not going to come up with the solution,
Right. Okay.
today, but primarily that was the FOSDEVs were supposed to be the primary coin holder owners
Right. Right.
within Handshake, so and also like I said, based on and I can post the link to the Twitter space that Mike did with Meow and Andrew Lee, but they both mentioned there, and I've heard other people mention that the thought would be most of the coins when it came to the name claim and the FOSDEVs would be burnt. So, you know, um,
I mean, the 24 million that ICANN didn't claim yet, 24 million is a lot. I mean, how realistic was it when they were thinking up all this
well, and that's the
and
other thing. So
modeling it? How realistic was it that ICANN would? Did they really expect ICANN to, or did they think no? They
they
probably
hoped that
won't.
that would be the incentive, especially with the ICANN and TL.
They
They thought the incentive would draw ICANN in
right,
to create adoption. Um, you know,
and
so
it
if you
didn't
see
work out.
here, and that's the other thing, like, we didn't talk about this here. Um, TLD via a DNS proof. That way we can all current existing domains can work on Handshake provided it is claimed in a timely manner. As all TLDs be claimable on uh, as all TLDs can be claimed on Handshake by the owner of the TLD. So, they wanted to create backwards compatibility, right? As we all know. So,
No browser
but they
conflicts.
wanted it done within a timely manner. I mean, that's one of the things they said. So, I mean, we, that can be something that we can present to them. I mean, what was their expectation again? But again, based on the conversations that were had, and Meow did mention in a tweet that to be on the lookout for some more details. They have some ideas of things that we might be able to do, and they may come up with some new ideas on what to do with these unclaimed tokens for the name claims. But again, back to one of the things that when they created this, they were not aware that some company, or not, maybe not aware is the wrong term. They did not I don't think they thought, from what they had said, they did not think about, it being an issue for them to claim the tokens, because they felt that these tokens were needed for them to be able to like make changes and whatnot, to to register the names, etc. And so, they even mentioned that, knowing now what they know, they may not have had the name claim tokens available, because also the other thing that happened is a lot of the names were claimed more or less by people scooping the names after the registration went out, because they were no longer, a lot of them were, you know, high traffic sites. Not doesn't always mean a good site, right? It could be a spam site. So that did occur. So, something to think about as well. As you mentioned, what did they plan to actually be claimed and burnt? We can ask, that can be presented again, you know, um, on Twitter and other mediums, to see what they come back with. And maybe that changes the answer of what we do with the coins. But we don't have to decide what we're doing with any of the coins until we go back and do the hard fork. So I think we have some time, not a lot of time, because I think once the soft fork goes in and it actually takes effect, on January 31st through February 2nd, I think it was, in 2024, I think we need to have a clear timeline of when we're going to have those name claims of whatever names we do allow to be protected. I think we need to really decide what our timeline is going to be, and then that gives us time to come up with some type of voting system, if that's the way we go, for all Handshake ambassadors to be able to vote for how do we handle these coins, how do we do we create a community fund that models, and I'm really interested in modeling similar to Project Catalyst from Ada, where it would be, we would come up with like the challenges. One challenge might be, we don't have browser integration, or we don't have a clear way of doing integration right now. And we've all talked about this many times. And
so
maybe
Meow is one of the main folk that were modeling all this, right?
Meow was one of the main folks that put together the FOSS airdrop, and because he's been very involved with
who's the
airdrop.
other one? Who's the other one you mentioned?
Andrew Lee.
Right. Okay.
So they were both involved. Andrew Lee is one of the co-founders of Handshake.
So what we need to do is establish what their expectations were.
Yeah.
Right. And then separate out how much needs to be burnt and how much needs to be kept in order to meet those expectations, so that the tokenomics works as intended. And then following that, then some reasonable, fair.
Yeah, and like I say, that's stuff that I think once we have the decision, as a community, possibly
you think that's not necessary right now, or
I don't think we have to make those decisions in the next 2 weeks. We've, the decisions that have to be made are any of the Alexa top 100,000 going to be saved, or is it just going to be the small, or the TLDs, ICANN TLDs, and then the top 100 and custom TLDs that are based on custom names and whatnot. Which is not a whole lot of the Alexa top 100,000, right? So there's some concerns of, is that the right way to do this? So, that's kind of where I think we're at. Do we protect any of those names or not? And then after, protecting those names, do we re-rank them, or do make no changes, or make drastic change, which I have concerns about, just because a lot of those current top websites, some of those could already be, owned. Many of them may be, people may be scooping the names because they're in the top in the current top 100,000. So, there's always that option or that situation. So you might not want to change the names that are on the list. But that's, again, I think those are the two things we have to really come up with. I think you make a valid point on, we need to find out what their expectations were. And I could have misunderstood, but my understanding from other, conversations and on the Twitter space that Mike did, the state of Handshake, that they expected most of the coins to be burnt. I mean, with some of these names, there's only 503 coins, in the top 100,000. So I really expect that they thought 503 tokens, that's not a whole lot.
No.
Those are mostly, if not all of them, most of them are going to be burnt or sold. But that's just my understanding from the conversations that I've had. So. So I think we've got time to have those conversations to get more details from them. I don't think we have to, again, make those decisions immediately. We do need to make the decisions on how do we handle the soft fork and the Alexa top 100,000. And then, as I've been saying, I think we have to come up with a way for the community to vote, so that, it's not just the miners that have a say in the direction of the blockchain, or the direction of Handshake. I think it goes well beyond the miners. I mean, even the expectations from, the creation and the spirit of Handshake is that the FOSS devs would be would really be the people who would create and build Handshake. The miners were there for validating sorry.
Well,
As you know, that validating the chain, as part of the whole proof of work. So I don't think that their expectation was that the miners were going to be the end all be all people to make decisions on the blockchain. I don't think the decision was that they would have the most power. I think it was the FOSS devs would have the most power, and since we don't really have the what's the word I'm looking for? We didn't really have the adoption that we thought.
I mean,
I think we have to come up with a new way of voting, at least, so that it's not, right now it's proposed that it's just the miners, and I think that's not enough. That's kind of where
the miners are active on the blockchain itself, but the blockchain itself isn't where all the community activity is, because all the community activity is on the other side of the nodes, right? Between the node side and the market, and that's where all the activity is going on, and that's also where all the community is. So,
well, that's actually a good point, because the miners aren't the ones that are doing the work. Aren't they're just crunching the numbers per se, for lack of better terms, right? But they're
and we need people to make noise.
They're not really the users. They're the validators of the chain, but the users of the chain are going to be the people using their TLDs.
They're going to be the people that make noise, that get Handshake notice to the wider
community. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, a miner's not. They're gonna if the bottom fell out of Handshake and it was at 0 cents, I think they'd stop mining. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, well,
I mean, the other thing though is that miners may not just be miners; they may do mining and a lot of other things as well.
Well, I mean, I have 2 miners. I mean, but I mean, there is some of that as well, yeah. But I think a lot of the miners are actually out of China, and
really,
yes, So, well, it's pretty late here. I'm gonna go ahead and
Go to
call it.
bed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Get a
make
little
some
rest.
coffee. I'll probably go back to bed for a while because I haven't slept very well.
Well,
Not for long, maybe for like 2-3 hours.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and then I'm gonna close the Jitsi. If you have any other questions, just hit me up. I'll,
Yep.
I'll add those, or I'll have a link for the stream on YouTube. You can always post questions there. And thanks, everyone. Talk to you later.
Okay. Well, thanks for that, Nick, and
You're welcome.
thanks for persevering with me this morning or this late evening or whatever time we are. All
Yeah.
right, and we'll speak again and on.
Awesome. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions, and if anyone else has any questions, go ahead and reach out. Thanks,
Sure, no
everyone.
problem.
Bye.
Cheers.